Hi, I'm Mike with the Studio for Teaching and Learning Innovation at William & Mary. In this tutorial, I'd like to teach you one of my favorite tools, which is Google Sites. Google Sites is a really easy to use web development tool that's available for all William & Mary faculty, staff, and students with their G Suite account. So to get started, what you'll do is you can log into your G Suite account at gsuite.wm.edu. Or if you're a student, I think you can just log in with your email and you should pop up to your Google email or however you're going to get to Google. And if you go to your little waffle here, the Google Apps on the right-hand side, you'll notice one of the options is going to be Google Sites. So if you choose Google Sites, you'll see this is what it looks like. And this is the beginning page. Or you can just go to sites.google.com and it'll bring you right here. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and create a blank site. And to create a new site, you'll see Start a New Site, and there are lots of options for different templates that they have, but I just want to show you what a blank site looks like so I can kind of go over all the tools that you might be able to use. And I'll click on the plus here under blank. And now you'll notice, first let me go over the dashboard here and everything that you're going to see in this creative environment. So you'll notice that you have an untitled site, and if you hover over something, you can go ahead and I can name this. So I'll call this Mike's new Google site. And that's going to be the name of the site. And then I can click on the enter the name of the site and it'll create it there as well. And then I can give it a title. This is the title either for your whole site or just this particular page. So I can call this Welcome. Spell it correctly. And now if you notice, as I click on different boxes, I get this blue box that appears around the entire thing that I'm editing. So if you'll notice, the blue box appears around the title, but if I click away from the title and into that header, you'll see that there's a blue box. It's harder to see it, but it's around the header. And then I get other options specifically for the header. So you'll see the header type, or I can change the image. So everything that you can do in a particular area is going to be shown when you click on that area. So look at this. I can delete that header. I can change the image of the header, or I can change the header type. And by selecting that, I can choose all of the different things: cover, large banner, banner, title only. So I suggest that you play around with that. So there's the title only, there's the banner, there's the large banner, there's the cover, right? So get to know everything that you could possibly do. The default is banner, so I'll leave that. And so now I'll go back and you'll see I can change the image. So let's see what that does. Change image, I can upload it, or I can select an image. So Google offers you some options for selecting an image, or you can upload your own. Or you can delete the whole thing and you can start without a header. You can start just on a main page. So pay attention when you click on one of these objects and see what the blue border actually surrounds, because that's what you're going to be having an effect on. So if you notice, I have a welcome title here, and as I click on it, you'll see all of the different options that I've got will appear. So I can change it from title to heading to subheading, and I'm just going to page through and see what each of them looks like. I can even do small, which is really small, or normal text. So I'm going to go back to title, right? I can also change the font. So if I want to change the font to this font, the Glory Hallelujah font, I select all my text, oops, and then I can change it to any font that I would like. So now there's my new font. I can also change the size of the font. I can decide whether or not it's a hot link. If it's a hot link, again, the same way that I change the font, I can select everything. I can select insert link, and then I can paste a link right in there if I like to do that. I can also decide if it's aligned center, if it's aligned right or left. I can remove it. I can even choose whether or not the line spacing is big or small, whether it's indented, whether it's crossed out, or if I want to clear all the formatting. So all of those options are there. The other thing I can do when I see a blue box is, if you notice, I've got these circles, and sometimes you'll have circles at the top and the bottom as well as on the sides, depending on what it is that you're adding. But now I can stretch it, and when I start to stretch it, you'll notice that you might see very faintly that there are guidelines, and that'll snap your grid into place. So if I wanted to stretch it over to the right, I could do that. If I wanted to stretch it over to the left, I could do that. And then if I wanted to align it to the left, I can do that. So you'll notice there's a lot of different things you can do with the header. So if you take some time and play around with that, you'll see exactly what you can do. So we're going to get into more of the editing right now, but first I want to show you that you have 3 tabs at the top of your dashboard. You've got Insert, you've got Pages, and you've got Themes. Insert is where we're going to be adding content to each page. Pages is where we're going to be adding new pages to our site, and Themes is going to give us a few options of the kind of theme we'd like to choose, but I'm going to go with the basic theme right now to show you everything. So now you'll notice I've got this insert and I've got all of these options under insert. I've got a text box, I've got images, I've got embed, I've got drive, I've got a bunch of different layouts, I've got all of these different options down below. So basically you're going to want to add text boxes and images for the most part. Everything else are bonuses, but you'll be able to play around with some of those options in a little bit. So let's add a text box. I'll click on text box, and now you notice what it does is it gives me a text box at the very top. So now once I have a text box, I can go ahead and put in some text. So I've got some text here that I just copied from another site, and I'm going to paste that in. That's what my text looks like. And again, I can change it, I can edit it, I can change it from normal text to heading, which is really big, or subheading, which is going to be a little bit smaller. I can select everything that I would like to be the certain heading. I can make that all subheading, right? And now if you notice, I've got these same blue circles that I had in my header. And I can do the same thing with the text as I did with the header. I can squeeze it into a spot on my site. All right, perfect. If you notice, I've got some options here on the side, however. I can change my section background, I can duplicate my section, or I can delete my section. Section background, if I click on that, you'll see I can change the emphasis color to gray, or to the color that I've set my site to, and we can choose that color in the themes, which I'll show you in a little bit. And so now this is nice. I've got some room for a picture here. Let's put a picture on the side. So if you notice, I've got this images button up at the top of insert, and I'll click on images. And I can either select an image that I might have in my Google Drive, or I can upload an image. Let's upload an image. All right, so I've got this image here, and let's say that I want to add this image that I created of myself. And I'll click open. And now if you notice, it puts it down below. And you will also notice that I have a lot of circles here. When I click on it, I've got one here. If I want to stretch the image to the right, I've got one to the left, I've got one at the bottom, and I've got one on each side at the bottom corners. But I can also grab this image and I can move it anywhere in my page that I would like, and I can also stretch it. And if I click and drag while I hold the Shift key, it will maintain the correct proportions for your image. It won't resize it for me. So that's it. I've added this image to this text, and let's say that I just wanted that text, the top text. I can just delete that other text. So now I've got an image, and I've got the image next to text, and you can see how powerful it is. Now let's say that I wanted to add some other options, like let's say I wanted to add a YouTube video. It's very easy to add a YouTube video. I've got a link here on the right-hand side where I can add a YouTube video. And I'll click on YouTube. And I can either search for a video or I can paste a URL here, or if I'm logged in with my William & Mary account, I can hit uploaded and it'll show me everything that I've uploaded to my William & Mary account. So here's a video that I made, and I'll click on it and I will select that. And there it is. It put that video right into my web page. And again, I can grab it and I can drag it somewhere else. And if I wanted to put text next to it, I could do the same thing. I'll click text box and I can grab that. You'll notice that there's these buttons up at the top middle. And you notice that I hover over this top middle area of my text box and I get these 4 arrows in each different direction. I can grab that and I can just drop it where it needs to go. And I'll put in that other text that I had from before. And again, if you remember, I can change the font size. Change it from normal text to subheading. And let's say this one I would like to be section background to be gray. I'll choose that first option for section background. So my site is starting to take shape. You can play around with some of the other options. You can embed Google Slides, you can embed Google Sheets or Google Docs if you want to. You could even embed a map if you would like, if you had something in Google Maps that you would like to add there. But basically images, video, text are the main things that you're going to be adding. The other thing that you'll probably want to add are hot links. So to add a link to a picture, it's very easy. So let's say I wanted to link this picture, this Caspa picture, to a website that I have about this topic. So I click on the picture and you'll notice I have this little link here, insert link, and I'll click on that. And now I just add the link and I'll say apply. So now that link has been added. And let's say I wanted to add a title to this top text. I could do that very easily by adding a text box. I'll add another text box. And here's that text box. And I can grab this and I can drag it to the top. And now I can add some text. But that's really small. So I'll select that text. And instead of normal text, I'll choose title text. And I say, you know what, I want it bold. So I'm going to bold it. And there it is. Now let's say that I wanted a link to some text. I want some of this text to be a link to my website as well. So I can select the text that I want to be a hot link. And I can choose the link, insert link. And I'll do the same thing. And I'll say apply. So now I'm all done editing this page, let's say. Now all I need to do is publish the page. And I can go to publish up at the top. I'll give it a name. And now if you'll notice, who can view my site? Anyone at William & Mary. Now if you wanted to make this available to anyone at all, I could click Manage. And now I can say links vary, and I will say change. And I will say publish site William & Mary, publish site public. And now anyone on the internet can find and open. And I'll say done. And now I'll click publish. And now my site is published and I can view it. To view your site, you can click down on the arrow next to publish. And you can say view published site. And that's how you build a simple page in Google Sites. In our next video, we're going to take a look at how pages work and how to add multiple pages and link them in a menu. And then later on, in another video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the formatting and themes that you can apply to your site.